Caffeine. Oh, well. Apparently, I was high on a Diet Coke. High last night off the caffeine, and I was just not thinking reasonably. So let me clarify some things before I go wash my body. Gather around. No chance. No dance. No chance. No dance. No chance. Give me second chances. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to make this really quick because this woman, I just posted a video in my community post so you can see a clip of this woman contradicting herself. So let's just get into this real fast. Nobody to this woman, what's her name? Hold on, what's her name? And yeah, I'm being a bitch today. Again, deal with it. Nope, not today. So what's her name again? Natasha. Let's break it down real fast. This woman gets on her channel the other day when Mekcee was at the Watts house. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is going to be quick. I'm just putting this shit out there. She gets on. Stay away from the Watts house. That's the name of her video. Stay away from the Watts house. Somebody in the chat says, oh, I saw that. His name's Mekcee or Mekcee. And she goes, yeah, I'm not saying names, but yes, that's who it is. So then I go on and I tell her, you know, mind, because she's saying, mind your own business. Don't go by the house. Apparently she knows all the neighbors, and she called the sheriff's department today and was like, they recommend you don't go by there. Well, honey, the police officer that talked to Mekcee that was there, he said it was all right. So you can make all the phone calls you want. Anyways, of course you got blocked. Thanks, Christy. Basically, this woman just thinks her shit don't stink, okay? So what she does is she goes on this morning because she saw my video and she's like, he's lying. He's spreading rumors. But then she said she didn't watch my video. Wait a minute. So how would you know that if you didn't watch my video? Well, somebody told me. Oh, okay, so you're one of those people that goes off of hearsay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a woman who basically was passive-aggressively dragging Mekcee for going to the Watts house. But she didn't say his name. She wasn't talking about him. But if you go to the video I just posted in my community post, you will see that that is incorrect information. Because she literally pointed out somebody in the chat who was talking about Mekcee. She goes, yeah, I'm not saying names, but that's who it is. That's the reason she doesn't say names on her channel, is because she doesn't want the backlash of her opinion and dragging people, and she doesn't want to look like an asshole. And just to let you, thank you, Rachel. Just to let you know, Mrs. Throw Mama from the Train, to clear up some information for you, I'm not biased in the Chris Watts case. I talked to lots of different people who have different opinions. I talked to Kim. I talked to Mekcee. I've talked to Critical K. I talked to Molly. I've talked to many different people because I'm not closed-minded like you are. Okay? So when I heard her this morning say, saving Robbie and Mekcee, and then she's telling people they don't know how to read or spell, listen, bitch, you're pronouncing my name wrong and his name. My name's not spelled saving. It's save. Just so you know. So if you're going to judge people for their reading and spelling skills and all that shit, save it. And then she says, I don't know why she does that camera angle. Not a flattering angle, but whatever. She could do what she wants with her camera. Not my business. She says, I saw Save Robbie in that Kim Kaufman's chat. That's all I need to know about him. Well, that just goes to show how close-minded you are. That you'll shut people out just simply because they're in a chat. He was all over her chat. He's a mod and everything. Eat a dick. Hey, Doodle. So I'm just making it clear that nobody's using you for content. Lady, I didn't even know who you were until yesterday. Nobody's using you for content. I don't need you for views because my channel's successful without you, and I have a great community of wonderful people in here who probably didn't even know who the fuck you were before yesterday. Okay, and neither do I, and I don't care. I went into her chat this morning because she was talking about me, and basically I put her in her place. I said, tell me what I'm lying about. Oh, blah, blah. She was beating around the bush. She couldn't fucking answer any questions. And then she was blocking people that were disagreeing with her. Hold on, let me turn off all of my alarms. I was supposed to be getting up now, but I was rudely awakened. Thank you, Rachel. You wrote on her page this morning telling her Mekcee was respectful. She does spirit walks. Well, the woman's clearly a walking hypocrite. She's live again right now. Basically, all I was saying, because she was telling people that go by the Watts house to mind their own business, how about you mind your own fucking business and not tell people what to do or where to go? And as far as all these neighbors she knows, she's like, I talk to the neighbors. It's disrupting them. Tell them to call the police then. And when they do, the police will do exactly what they did with Mekcee. They will go up, they will get his ID or whoever else is there, and they will handle the situation, and they will tell them from there what they need to do, exactly what happened with Mekcee. If you didn't see that part, I'm not sure if you watch or listen, lady, but that's what happened. It pisses me off that people like this is the reason why people argue on the internet. You see me talking to Kim, Revelation and the Reckoning. You see me talking to Mekcee, who has a completely different opinion. You see me having an undecided opinion on this case. I am not biased. I am not a war. She's like, oh, he's just coming in as an army for Kim, for Revelation and the Reckoning. No, I belong to the army of me. Okay, so if you're going to talk about me, at least I took the time to go to 2 of your stupid videos from yesterday and listen to the entire things. Anytime, yes, she did contradict herself. She did. So that's really all I got to say about that. I'm clearing this up on this one, part 2 from last night, because this woman clearly didn't listen to her own words. I had no idea who you were until you started talking about my friend. And just because you beat it around the bush and passive aggressively spoke about him does not mean that you were not talking about him, because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the facts that you were in fact talking about him. So all of your followers that are in the chat saying, you're making up lies, you're doing this, you're doing that, go look at the facts yourself. Go to her video from yesterday that says stay away from the Watts house. Go to 5 minutes and 15 seconds in. You will see a comment from a person named Tam Robs at 5 minutes and 15 seconds in. They said, that's the one I watched last night. Mekcee or Mackie. Sorry, I forgot the spelling, LOL, which she didn't judge their spelling. And then she says, yeah, I'm not saying names, but that's the one. So, bitch, you were talking about him. So don't sit there and say people are attacking you for no reason and making up lies. Exactly, Monica. She's blocking everybody. You are stirring up trouble on the internet, and you're being mean and rude and not minding your own business. So when people come to you and say, hey, why'd you say that? You're wrong, actually. Oh, I didn't say that. And then you call them a liar for it. You look stupid. And that's really all I got to say about that. Her talking to neighbors is no different than going to the street of the Watts house, isn't it? Well, and it's not fucking disrespect. Look, if you're not disrupting the public, you're not doing any of that, then you're not breaking any laws. So who gives a shit what she says? I don't know what she is, honestly. I'd never heard of her before. As only investigator, and the cop showed up without blue lights on. Exactly, MJ. Yeah. So, and then, what's funny is she keeps saying, I talk to the neighbors and they say this or they say that. Well, bring them on your show. If they have so much to say and they're so concerned, why don't you bring them on so they can publicly address everybody and let them know their concerns? Because actually, if we're going to go there, one of the first times I went to the Watts house with Mekcee, I actually got 2 different emails from 2 different people that live in that neighborhood. And they were like, yeah, we live over here and it's really crazy. You should come at nighttime because lights turn on and off at nighttime and all of this stuff. So not everybody in the neighborhood is against people. They were actually inviting us to come so we could have a big old party and hoedown. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's just, I mean, when I see stuff like that, especially when it comes to Mekcee, okay, because he's harmless. He's nice. He's respectful. He doesn't come on here. He doesn't need someone like her for content. He works his ass off for his content, and he does a damn good job at it, and he's very successful at it. And he's been around a lot less longer than this woman, and his channel's more successful. Now, I'm not trying to compare, but, you know, she's sitting there saying, they're trying to use me for views. Bitch, nobody knew who you were until you started talking about him. Hello? Thank you, Cookie Mom. Yes, I am Team Mekcee. And I'm not just some person from the internet that's like, oh my God, yeah, Mekcee. I'm his friend. I'm his friend. Sorry, my voice. I'm his friend of almost 17 years who knows him well. Okay? So some woman on the internet that goes around saying, do this, do that. Shut up. Nobody cares what you have to say except your stupid followers in your chat, and that's it. Hey, Prince Ferdinand. Oh, she's mad because he has more stuff. And who cares about that kind of stuff? You know what? It's not even about the number. Mekcee has a great community. So do I. You guys are an awesome community of people. It's not even about being on YouTube. Lots of you I talk to outside of YouTube are now in my Discord and all other places. Like, it's an awesome group of people. So we don't need to use somebody for content to have that friendship. Thanks, Crime Talk. And then she's like, he called me a mean lady. I guess that's my new nickname. Look, lady, let's just call a spade a spade. You were being fucking rude. How about you just admit that, admit you weren't minding your own business, and move on and apologize and say, oh, you know, okay, maybe I should. I'm sorry. Hey, pumpkin tits. And just to correct her, I did not say that the picture on her thumbnail outside of that says stay away from the Watts house. I did not say that she took that picture. I don't know where see, this is why she needs to listen before she goes on a rampage 3 times a day on her channel, or 4. I said, this is what I said. She was going to, let me get the exact name. She was going to a house, I guess the Blanchard house in Missouri. And she was talking about driving by there, but she didn't stop. That's what I said. I did not say this woman went by the Watts house. I said exactly what she said with her own words. She went by the Blanchard house in Missouri and drove by and took pictures, and that's respectful. That's okay. Hey, Carla. Nikki, it's in my community post. That's okay if you do that. But if you're trying to kiss the people involved in the Watts case ass, of course you're going to defend and try to get as many views and subs and sympathy as you can to look like a hero. Well, I see right through your bullshit. You saw that part of her video? And you know what? You're in true crime. If you're in true crime, the only way to get up close and personal is to have brave people like Mekcee, especially if you believe in spirit boxes and stuff, which clearly she does, or she wouldn't do it on her channel. And then she's making rules. Well, if you're going to do it, sit here, sit there, but then you shouldn't be there. And the neighbors told me you shouldn't be there. Well, and then again, in her chat, hey, Ashley, she said, did you see that? Robbie said he doesn't care about the neighbors. That's not what I meant, you fucking idiot. What I meant was, who cares what the neighbors are saying to you? Because it doesn't matter. It matters what the police have to say about it. Not some hag on the internet, and not some neighbors that are complaining to some hag on the internet. Do you understand that? Do you understand how the law works? It doesn't work just because you get offended and say, I don't want them at the house. They should leave. Stop kissing the Russek's ass. How about that? Carla, she made a video called Stay Away from the Watts House. It's in my community post. You'll see. Yeah, Mekcee is nothing but respectful. But again, I find it funny that this woman says, they're just using me for views. Well, first of all, Mekcee didn't say shit about your dumb ass, and he's not going to because you're irrelevant to him. I'm the one saying it because I'm his friend. Second of all, you fucking were the one who started talking about Sandra in the chat, Vintage 5280, going there, and Mekcee. So you started talking about it for content, not the other way around. I simply commentated on your bullshit comments. Deal with it. If you're going to be on the internet in public, having an opinion about people you don't know and judging them, then you better expect commentary and people to be putting you in your place. No, the name is the name in her deed. Yeah, as long as you're going there, I'm talking shit about Sandra. As long as you're going there and you're not trespassing and you're not breaking any laws, end of story. So call who you want, Tasha, whatever your name is. Nobody cares. You're not the boss. Applesauce. You sent me an email, Amber? Okay. She just wants to be noticed. Yeah, that's very clear because we notice you. You could back away from the camera just a little bit. Back away. Slow it down. Slow it down. Yeah, you both were respectful. And again, what I'm pointing out about this woman is she says, I was making a general statement to everybody. I wasn't talking about him. I wasn't talking about Mekcee. I was making a blanket statement. Go back to your chat at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. You were directing it towards Mekcee. That is what inspired your video, and you used Mekcee for content. Have I made myself clear? Any other questions? Any comments? But then again, who gives a flying fuck anyway? What movie is that from? Yeah, she wasn't respectful at all. See, I don't know. Hey, Backroad Freedom. It's good to see you. Like I said, I didn't know who she was until yesterday. And what's funny is she says, I didn't know who. First of all, she says, people need to learn how to read. And then she says, I didn't know who Saving Robbie was till this morning. Bitch, do you know how to read? It's Save Robbie. Get it right. Number two, if you didn't know who I was before, then how come you said you've seen me all up and down Kim Kaufman's chats, which I actually haven't even been in one of her chats for a while because she hasn't been live. Well, I have. And then I say, yeah, I support Kim, and everybody in her chat, did you see that? That's all we need to know. He supports Kim. He supports Kim. Yeah, I fucking do. She supports me through a lot of different stuff, and she's been very kind to me. Treat me the way you want to be treated. And if you don't fucking like that I like Kim, oh well. I don't care. You never heard of her? Yeah, me neither. Kim Kaufman. Yeah, just so you guys know, I think I make it very clear. I give everybody a chance to listen to them. I even gave this crazy woman a chance to listen to her bullshit videos, and nothing made sense at all. And I even went into her chat to talk to her, and she's like, you're not listening to me. You're not listening. I'm like, dude, I'm right here. I've been listening. I listened to 2 of your videos, and you're not making sense. Just admit you were talking about it and move on. Thank you, Annie. Welcome. The problem is, and she said this, I heard her say it multiple times in the videos I watched of her. She says, don't mention other creators' names. And then she turns around today and says, see, this is why I don't say creators' names, because this happens. Oh, you mean you don't like saying the names of the people you're talking shit about because you don't want them coming back and responding to you. So you want to passively aggressively talk shit about them so that they don't know who you're talking about, and you can just get it out of your passive aggressive system. Is that what you're saying? No, if you talk poorly and spread hate on the internet, it comes back around to you, and it's not very nice. Love you too, Gene. And I'm not trying to be hateful to this woman. I'm responding to her hypocrisy. End of story. If she doesn't like that, then she should not trash people on the internet. Maybe do some original content yourself and not talk about my friend for content. And then I won't respond to you. Okay? And trust me, you are not content on my channel. If you browse and look and scroll to the other content on my channel, you'll see I actually do shit on my channel. Okay? Appreciate it. Oh, I don't know. I love you too, Carla. Anyways, I do need to go get in the shower. I wanted to respond to her because I was laying in bed and I saw that she was live once and then I think again, and then now she's live again, and she just kept talking about me, and then she's like, he's using me for content. No, I'm responding to you using us for content. Any questions? Hey, Helen. Yeah, I was not hateful in her chat at all. She could not answer my question. And it's so weird because the people in her chat had the same mentality as her, like that delusional mentality of not. All I said, because she said, that's saving Robbie, he's making up lies about me. So I said, what lies? What are you talking about? What lies? What lies? I was not talking about your friend. Okay, well, I just proved that you did. Go to 5 minutes and 15 seconds of your video from yesterday and you'll see that you're lying. Why would I come after a random person like that? You too, Kim. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked back at any of her other videos. Does she treat people like this all the time? Or I don't know. But I suggest, I don't know, maybe if you're going to talk about the case, be a little bit more polite about people, you know? Maybe just say, hey, I don't agree with them going to the property or whatever. But what I found very interesting is somebody directly asked her in the chat. They said, were you the one that called the cops on him? And she goes, what? No. And right before that, she said, if that was me, I would call the cops on him. Just putting that out there. Pretty interesting that she kind of froze up and choked up with that question, right? Guarantee she's the Karen that did it, just in my opinion. That started rumors of the Watts parents' house being swatted. Oh, okay, Kiki. That makes sense now. That makes sense. Wow, she must be bored. A few seconds, it's literally a camera to the ceiling. Oh, usually it's like right here. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to clear that up. I have no reason to go after this lady. I don't care to. I was just pointing out that she's a hypocrite and she contradicts herself and she's lying and she attacks people. That's what I was pointing out. That's it. Exactly, Brandy. Me too. I listen to a lot of different channels. If you don't agree with her, she yells and acts stupid. Yeah, I saw that. Too much drama. People were going in there and somebody gave me a heart. They're like, I like you, Robbie, and a heart. And she goes, take those hearts over to his channel. We don't need those here. Jeez, lady, you can't even have people love anyone on your channel that disagrees with you? Man, talk about being full of hatred. Love you too, Dylan. All right, Shark, bye. All right, guys, anyways, that's all I have to say about this lunatic. I'm sure she's going to continue talking about it, but that's all I have to say about it at this point. That's it. Yeah, welcome, Annie. She probably called the cop. Probably. And you know what? I told Mekcee that. That's why I don't like to go to the Watts house. I don't like, even when I went to the hotel, you guys saw I got 2 different prank calls while I was there. And I warned the hotel and I warned the police department. This is where I'm going to be. People know my address because I'm online. I have this scheduled. Lots of people don't like me on the internet and they know where I'm at. So just so you know, you might get some fake phone calls, you know, whatever. And to beware. And I told Mekcee that. I said, if you tell people where you're going, like we've gone to the Watts house and stuff, expect for them to call the cops or set you up for something. Expect that kind of shit. So I guarantee this woman is the type of person to do that kind of shit. Because she's bitter and unhappy and whatever's going on in her own life. I don't know, and I really don't care. Thank you, Elizabeth. If she called the cops, then she used their time over nothing. Yeah? Well, that's on her. But if you're not breaking the law and you want to do what you want to do on your channel, guess what? She ain't going to stop you from doing that. Period. She could sit there and talk and do whatever she wants to, but it's not gonna get her anywhere. Welcome, T King. They never had them called before. Yeah, it's so weird because she's like, it clearly says no trespassing. Well, did you see him go up in the yard? I didn't. I didn't see that part if he did. Yeah, she does have too much time on her hands. Couldn't find his wallet, but he still kept rolling. Yeah, and obviously, I mean, Mekcee was very calm, so he didn't have anything to be worried or concerned about, except for people like her on the internet that target people. That's why I'm talking about this, because it's people like her that they start stirring up this anger and this hatred and lies and just all this nonsense, and then they get people to go after good, innocent people like Mekcee, and it's not right. And for her to be encouraging, yeah, if you see people in those neighborhoods, you should call the police, and I would do this. You're just encouraging that kind of shit. And weren't you just saying you don't want to waste the police's time? And then you're saying, what about these neighbors' families? These people in the neighborhood, their families should be scared and worried, and their kids. About a YouTuber? What do they have to be worried about a fucking YouTuber for? What's he going to break into their house and live stream it? I don't get where you're going with that shit. It's stupid. So I would suggest to this woman, if you find it disrespectful to cover or investigate this case or talk about the topic at all, and you find it very, hi, Sue Cooper's son, and you find it very disrespectful, then I looked over some of the titles on your videos. Maybe you should fucking stop talking about the case, period. Because there's different ways of investigating, okay? He is. See, I mean, I know that Mekcee's respectful. I know that from knowing him forever. So that's it. So y'all have a nice day. And yeah, I'm sorry if she thought I was a bitch coming, responding to her, but maybe you should, here's a little assignment for her to try, a little challenge, if you will. If you don't want people responding to your negativity, don't put negativity out there. Try putting positivity out there, and people will respond in a positive way. Oh, it works so beautifully. Wow. Wow. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening to me bitch again. And I will talk to you later. I hope you have a really good day. Bye. No chance. No chance.